Hey everybody, welcome back to a North Texas Weather Center forecast, and today what we're looking at is the potential for a severe weather outbreak, not just today, but most likely going to occur tomorrow across North Texas, and this is everything that you need to know in this forecast for severe weather today, tomorrow, and as well as Wednesday, and as well as the timing, threats, everything that you need to know about the next 72 hours. So let's get started. We have a potential for severe weather today, and that is a slight risk for most of DFW. That includes Denton County, Tarrant, Collin, as well as Dallas counties are all included in a slight risk of severe weather. That also includes eastern and northeastern Texas. So these are areas to watch for the potential for large to very large hail and maybe some damaging wind gusts today. The main threat today, it looks like, will be large hail. Obviously, we saw a couple of little showers and weak storms come through this morning for a few areas in DFW, and they already saw some small hail. And those storms, by the way, were not very strong. So we could very well see a pretty large hail threat if any storms do break through the cap this afternoon. Taking a look at that hail threat, you can see that hatched area does include all of DFW. That is for the potential for significant hailstone sizes, meaning up to baseball-sized hail could be possible this afternoon. So something to keep in mind if the cap does break. And that is a possibility, especially what we saw this morning. That could be, an indicator that we could see that cap break this afternoon, meaning a few isolated discrete supercells could form this afternoon. Tornado threat today is pretty low. I mean, it's a 2% chance within a 25-mile radius. That's basically close to nothing. So any threat for tornado, I would expect to be far to our northeast out of the DFW area, at least for today. Tomorrow's going to be a different story. Going to tomorrow, actually, we'll look at the damaging wind threat for today. Damaging wind threat is pretty low as well, only a 5% chance within a 25-mile radius. Again, the hail threat seems to be the main threat this afternoon. All right, tomorrow is a different story. We are all under enhanced risk of severe weather. This has extended into areas like Waco, Cleburne, all those areas in southern DFW are now included in the enhanced risk for severe weather. Damaging winds, large to, again, very large hail possible, and then a tornado threat will definitely be possible as well tomorrow with those discrete supercells. Here's a look at that hail threat. You can see a 30% chance within a 25-mile radius for large to very large hail. That means up to baseball or tennis ball sized hail will also be possible tomorrow. Again, that threat is an isolated cell or two that might have that very, very large hail. Most of the cells will probably be between quarter to golf ball size, if that. So there's something to kind of keep in mind. Tornado threat for tomorrow is still, it's a little bit higher than what it will be today. 5% chance in the 25-mile radius. So it's a low-end threat. You can see back off to the north, it's off your screen. But it's a little yellow area up here in Oklahoma. It's not really shown on the screen here, but you can see that is actually going to be the potential for a tornado outbreak in Oklahoma. So that's just something to keep in mind. That could also translate into North Texas. We'll have to wait and see over the next 24 hours and see what happens there. Take a look at the damaging wind threat for tomorrow as well. We are all under about a 15% chance on the 25-mile radius, so it's a bit of a low to moderate threat there. Taking a look at the severe weather potential for Wednesday, all of us are under either a marginal or slight risk of severe weather. A severe weather outbreak will likely occur well back out to our east. However, in DFW, you might see a couple of storms with damaging wind gusts or maybe some quarter-sized hail in the morning hours. Other than that, we will clear out by Wednesday at lunchtime. Take a look at the temperatures right around 3 o'clock this afternoon. We will get into the upper 80s, lower 90s, so cap might break with the temperatures, how high they get. Tomorrow will be a bit of a different story. We'll start in the low 70s. Temperatures will not rise a whole lot until about 4 or 5 o'clock. You can see a lot of us will get into the low to mid 80s and back out to the west low 90s where the dry line is kind of, it's going to be drier out there. So storms will start to develop, and you can see those are the spots where storms might start to develop tomorrow. Dew points as well. Obviously, it is pretty humid out there. You might have already noticed. Dew points will drop for some areas in northwestern DFW. You can see right along the dry line. Look at those dew points, right around 70 degrees. It is going to be humid this afternoon, and eventually going to tomorrow, it'll be pretty similar. We'll get into the low 70s for dew points for most of us, which again will pretty much translate to that potential for severe weather. Will not dry out until at least about lunchtime tomorrow, or Wednesday, excuse me. So that's when you can expect that dry air to return for North Texas. Let's take a look at the future radar. So we have a chance for a couple of discrete supercells this afternoon. This will again be contingent on that cap breaking or weakening. You can see by about 5 o'clock, there's a couple of storms that begin to develop really in the DFW Metroplex. And then eventually by 6, these storms start to blow up. And again, if any storms like this do blow up, we could see all modes of severe weather possible, including damaging winds and as well as large hail, and an isolated tornado threat exists. By 7, storms move out to the northeast, and eventually by 8, we should be cleared out here in DFW. Much more severe storms, by the way, up in Oklahoma and as well as Arkansas. Those areas are going to be having the worst of the severe weather because they have no cap at all. So that is why they're going to have more severe weather than what we'll have. Tomorrow is a different story. We'll have a chance for discrete supercells developing as early as about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You can see this is 3 o'clock. Storms will start to develop back out west of I-35. And this will eventually bring some storms to the Metroplex right around 5 to 6, I'd expect. So here's 5 o'clock. Discrete supercells kind of lining up along I-35 here. Again, all modes of severe weather possible. By 6 o'clock, these storms move through the DFW Metroplex. Some of them even show they weaken by the time they get here, so that'll be something to monitor pretty closely. And then by 7 and 8 o'clock, storms might still be going on in southern DFW, but by about 9, 10 o'clock, they should start to fizzle out as daylight heating expires. By 6, 7 in the morning, going to Wednesday, a line of storms will develop. Where it develops is kind of still a bit of a question mark, but it looks like it probably will develop east of I-35, which means Denton County and Tarrant County won't have to worry too much about this threat. That would primarily be in the morning hours, again, between about 5 to 8 in the morning. All right, make sure to stay updated with North Texas Weather Center for the latest. We will go live if we need to anytime before or between, 4:30 to 7 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow will likely be live sometime between about 3 to 7 o'clock, so make sure to stay updated with North Texas Weather Center for the latest on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure to subscribe here to our YouTube channel. Make sure to check out our sponsors, Platinum Contracting, All Dents Repair, and Birdie's Pro Turf.